authors. It's Lynn, a Liquidity Smart, just back again for another episode of Self-Publishing for Professionals. And I'm glad you're here because I want to share this new KDP information. This is a 411 on the KDP changes that you may or may not have known have happened. They just recently happened, and KDP, like a lot of other platforms, has changed their algorithm. However, luckily, this time the change is good and is author friendly, unlike the other changes that they made, right? So we're going to jump into that in just a second, but know this, that Amazon changes are going to reward quality content and genuine engagement over the previous gaming system that they had. And these updates really level the playing field for professional authors that have expertise and want to publish books and just consistently sell books. By the end of this episode, you're going to understand exactly how to leverage these changes for better visibility and sales. So let's jump into it. What changed in the Amazon KDP algorithm? All right, there's been some major shifts, my friend. One is they now have a greater emphasis on read-through rates and completion. So if you have an ebook and people are reading all of it, they're going to push your book up in the algorithm over your competitions that are not reading as much. Okay, quality signals now outweigh keyword stuffing. Authentic reviews are weighted more heavily than volume, than the amount of reviews you get. So if you're getting like a lot of reviews, but they're just stars and not having any actual, like people aren't reviewing with an actual comment, then those are not going to have as much weight as people who are giving you a review with a comment. Okay, your author platform and engagement metrics also matter more, so make sure that you go back and listen to the episode that I talked about about like your Amazon author page, so you make sure you have that completely filled out. Your content quality detection is going to be improved significantly, and your long-term performance is going to be valued over launch spikes. Okay, so previously it was everybody had to launch and have like a gazillion people launch day buy their book, and that's how algorithm boosted your book. But now it's completely different. They're looking at long-term sales instead of just that once and done push. Okay, because I like that a lot more too, because then you're less likely to get burned out, because it's very easy to get burned out doing that huge Amazon push like that. All right. Amazon made these changes because they wanted to combat low quality content flooding the platform, right? People were just using AI, throwing out books and just, putting it out all over the place and getting people to buy low content, really low quality books for very cheap or free, just to game the system to get their book out there. All right. And this now dissuades that. It improves the reader experience and satisfaction, because now people will get books suggested to them that are really what they're looking for, okay, and not just based on who's selling the most books right now. It reduces manipulation and gaming of the system and rewards authors who really build audiences, and it protects the ecosystem for serious authors. The old system needed fixing because you could keyword stuff your titles and descriptions, review manipulation and buying services, and then launch tricks that gamed short-term rankings, and low-quality books that ranked high temporarily, but over time fizzled out, right? And so professional authors were getting buried by all this other BS that was out there, and that's not okay. I feel like if you're a professional author and you're doing a good job building an audience, you should be at the top of Amazon. That just makes sense. The shift towards quality metrics. Now, Amazon can detect AI-generated low-quality content. So if you're listening to this and you're thinking, oh, I'm just going to use AI to write my book and put it out there, Amazon's going to figure that out. You want reader engagement tracked, and they're going to track it more comprehensively, and your book completion rates factor into recommendations, right? So are your readers reading your book? And they monitor that on your Amazon KDP ebook. Time spent reading affects visibility, and return rates impact future discoverability. So if people keep coming back and buying your book and coming back to your book and reading it, then you're going to be bumped up in the algorithm. All right, let's move on to how these changes are going to benefit professional authors. Now, my friend, this is the one I am so most excited about. All right, quality content finally gets rewarded. Yay! Let's hear the cheering in the background. Let's all do our happy dance, because that's what we want. We don't want content mills putting out BS garbage all the time, and then authors like us are getting pushed to the back burner. Now It's going to be authors first, authors who are engaged and have well-written, professionally edited books rank better. Now, remember what I'm always telling you about a professionally edited book. If your book is not professionally edited, your book's not going to rank on Amazon. So you're going to need to get a good professional editor for your book if you want to have a quality book that's going to rank better on Amazon and be shown to more people. Readers finishing your book signals quality to Amazon, and your professional presentation stands out. Your expertise and depth is going to create a competitive advantage for your book being seen on Amazon, and your investment in quality is going to pay off long term, which is how it should have been the whole time. Luckily, it's now changed to that. So that's good news for all of us authors. Authentic audience building matters more now to Amazon. So if you have an email list and launch team, that's going to drive sustainable success for your book. And your genuine reader relationships, right? They create ongoing sales and real reviews from your readers, right? And that carries more weight with Amazon now. Your author platform integration with Amazon helps your visibility. So make sure you're filling out your author platform on Amazon as well as your book description very well. And long-term readers who buy your future books boost rankings. That's why you can follow authors. So if you go on Amazon and you look up Lynn Smargis, you'll find my author page and you can follow me. Again, if you go on Amazon and you look up the Guide to Traveling Gluten-Free and you click on my creator name, Aliquity, you'll see my author page, Aliquity. So you can have one author page for every pen name or every author name you have. If you have 3 author names, and some people do because they write in different genres with different pen names, you'll have 3, you can have 3 author pages on Amazon. So make sure to take advantage of that. All right, professional authors have built-in advantages. You have your expertise, credibility, and your content naturally has depth and value if you're a professional author. You can build real audiences who engage with you and your book, and your book solves actual problems. And your professional presentation is your standard, and that's what Amazon is looking for. All right, this levels the playing field against cheap, low-quality content, keyword gaming, fake reviews, launch manipulation, and quick tricks. All right, so my friends, and if you are confused on what Amazon does or what Amazon doesn't do, or you're confused on how to write a good quality book, definitely get my book, From Idea to Outline. This is literally the framework I use with all my ghostwriting clients, and it helps them to get what am I going to write about to I know what I'm going to write about, I know what content I'm going to use, I know when I'm going to write, and I know how I'm going to write it. Okay, that's what this book does. So I get so many questions, friends, on I have a book inside me, I don't know how to get it out. And this is what my book does for you. My book will, From Idea to Outline, gets you from, hey, I've got this book inside me, to now I know how I'm going to write this book. So if you are looking for a guided framework, step by step, that holds your hand through the process and explains what to do in very big detail every step of the way, get my book, From Idea to Outline, on Amazon. You'll find the links in the show notes below. All right, so let's get on to the next segment, strategies to leverage the new algorithm. All right, so remember, we want to be strategic about our book writing, our book publishing, because without strategy, we don't have a plan. I mean, you can have a plan, but you want it to be a strategic plan, right? So you're going to spend all that time and effort making a plan. You want it to be strategic, and you want it to be focused so that you achieve your goals easier and faster and more efficiently. You want to optimize for read-through and completion. You want to write compelling openings that hook readers immediately so people keep reading your book, and create chapters that flow logically. This is one of the big things I see a lot with new authors. They create chapters and they either don't flow logically, or they have chapters that are super uneven. Like they'll have one that has a lot of detail in it and the next chapter is really, really general, right? You want your chapter content to be really consistent. End chapters with hooks that drive continued reading to the next chapter, and structure your book for easy consumption. You want quality editing, okay? That's going to remove friction points, that's going to remove misunderstandings, and it's going to remove a lot of like, I'm not sure what's happening in this book. So one of the things that I see a lot of authors do is they're like, well, I'm not going to put all the information in so people guess. It's like, no. Friends, people don't want to guess on what's coming, right? You need to put the context in. Don't leave your readers guessing, Okay, you don't have to spell out every detail for them, but you have to put context in your book. Without context, people don't know where it's going, they don't understand what they're reading, and they will put down your book and give it a bad review. You want to make sure you don't want to leave it a mystery. Your book is not a murder mystery, and even murder mysteries have context, so make sure you have plenty of context in your book. All right, I'll get off that soapbox now. Test your book with beta readers to identify where people are having issues with your book or challenges. All right, you want to create books that readers finish, so make sure your length is appropriate to your content and audience. So for a business book, 40,000 words is great, 50,000 words is a little big, 75,000 words probably too much. But it depends on your content. Clear value delivery throughout, right? You don't want to just put a bunch of fluff in the beginning and then at the end be like, oh, hey, by the way, here's what you need to learn. They need to learn something from every chapter. What's your takeaway from each chapter? You need to know that. Okay, practical application, readers want to implement. It's not going to be like, okay, I've got this 24-step process, but oh my gosh, I don't understand how to implement it, or this seems too hard, or seems too complicated, or it's too vague. I don't know what to do. All right, so make sure that your framework or strategy or pillars are very clear. It goes step by step and people understand what you're talking about. That's very important. Okay, you can have stories and examples that maintain interest, and your formatting enhances your readability. Now, friends, I have said this so many times on my podcast, but I'm going to say it again. Don't use Word to format your book. Okay, do not use Word to format your book. And don't use any formatters that use Word to format a book because they don't know what they're doing. You don't want to use Word because Word doesn't format your book well. You're still going to get weird, stretchy images and things like that. It's not professional. You want to use a professional word formatter like Atticus or another professional word formatter like Adobe Acrobat. So make sure your formatter, if you hire one, uses a professional software. Ask them, what do you use to format your book? If they say a Word document, run the other way. Don't hire them. All right. You want to make sure you have stories and examples that maintain interest, and then you want to make sure that your pacing matches your readers' expectations, okay? Building authentic reviews the right way. Focus on advanced reader copies to genuine readers. Don't just give it to everybody. You want to have an email list strategy to get your reviews, and never buy reviews or use manipulation services. Those never get good results, and they're just going to get your book taken off of Amazon and possibly you banned from Amazon, and you definitely don't want to do that. Ask beta readers for feedback and follow Amazon terms of service. Okay, remember, quality of reviews matter more than quantity. One of the things I love to do is you can give your beta readers 3 examples of reviews they can write and say, hey, take these reviews and make them your own. That way it gives them a template to start off with, so it helps them out. Okay, you still have to do keywords because that's metadata and that optimizes your book, but focus on genuine search terms that readers use. Title and subtitle clarity over keyword stuffing. And you want categories that accurately reflect your content. And a great tool to do that is called Publisher Rocket. Dave Chesney develops it. I love Publisher Rocket. I use it a lot for topics and categories because your ebook categories are going to be slightly different than your paperback categories. I don't know why that is. It just is. I think maybe it's because there's more ebooks than paperback books out there. All right. So your keywords need to match your reader intent, and a description that sells and informs. That's super important. Now, don't put anything in your description your book doesn't deliver. That's not okay, right? But I always do put this is what people are going to learn when they read my book, and bullet point 5 to 6 things. And then people know if I read this book, this is what I'm going to learn. Okay, so you want the A+ content. Remember, again, fill out your Author Central page and optimize it. Right, and make blog up. Well, you can't do. I don't know that you can do blog updates through Author Central anymore. But make your social media links coming back to your book. You want to have video content on your book that you can send people back to your author page and your book. All right, now these are the things you want to stop doing under the new rules because they're not acceptable anymore. So these are tactics that are going to hurt you. Keyword stuffing, buying reviews, using review exchange services. Don't do that because Amazon's going to know that and they're not going to show your book to people. Gaming launch day with artificial spikes, low quality content, misleading categories or book positioning. and manipulation of Amazon, any other manipulation of Amazon systems. Okay, if you do any of these old school tactics, Amazon will actively suppress your book. You can get accounts suspended. You could possibly be terminated from Amazon. That's definitely not a place you want to be. You can lose all your reviews if they detect manipulation. Your books can be permanently buried in search results, and you have damage to your author reputation. Okay, so avoid copying what worked 2 to 3 years ago, following outdated strategies, neglecting book quality, and ignoring your reader experience. The mind shift requires you from gaming the system to serving readers, from short-term spikes to long-term growth, from quantity over quality to quality over quantity, which is the way it should be. And also it focuses on genuine value creation. Okay, so you're going to build a sustainable platform that's much, much better for you as an author and much better for the success of your book. And I'm really glad that KDP did change these. All right, so action steps for the new algorithm. Okay, immediate actions. If you have any current books on Amazon, audit your metadata to make sure you're not keyword stuffing. Okay, review your first chapters for strong hooks, check your Author Central page, and ensure professional presentation throughout. Monitor your read-through rates in your KDP stats, okay, and update your descriptions to focus on reader value. All right, if you have a book that you're writing that's in progress right now, okay, make sure you keep all of these things in mind. That's really important because you need to adjust your long-term strategy accordingly so that you can optimize your book. All right, future-proof your author career, my friend, by building quality content that's authentic and gives readers a big win, and then build your author platform, okay? Have your book website or your author website in addition to your work website. All right, remember, my friends, these changes separate serious professionals from content mills, okay? Now you're playing the long game and Amazon rewards that. So audit your book's current metadata. If you haven't already published, double down on building your email list and reader relationships and commit to professional quality. All right, my friends, you know I love working with my clients to simplify their self-publishing process so they can publish their book and leverage their content to get more clients and with less stress than if they were to write their book on their own. If you're ready to get support with building this, okay, definitely get my book From Idea to Outline. But if you don't know where to start, book a Path to Publishing discovery call. You can find that both links in the show notes below. All right, my friends, remember to keep writing, keep dreaming, and keep working on your book. Your book is waiting to be born.